It'll start getting cooler. You just watch.
I wish science agreed with you.
Well, I don't think science knows, actually.
99% of scientists agree that climate change is caused by human activities. Let's unpack what that means. First off, there's no real threshold for consensus. Even though we often say things like 99% of scientists, all that really tells us is that we have a strong consensus. But you could have a strong consensus with 95% or 83%. It means that a claim has cleared a very, very high bar. It's like we've got 3,000 pieces of this puzzle and 2,996 are spelling out climate change is real and we are causing it. It would not just be weird, but wildly unlikely to uncover evidence that overturns this fact. It would be as strange as learning that atoms aren't real. Now, does this mean that we know everything there is to know about climate change? No, there's still plenty of stuff for scientists to debate and discover. But they're working on the unsettled details within the broader scientific consensus. Scientists aren't debating if climate change will bring serious warming to the planet. They're debating things like the importance of peat bogs for carbon storage or how fast methane breaks down in the atmosphere.
So Obama's talking about all of this with the global warming and that. A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
By the way, it's supposed to be 70 degrees today. It's freezing here. Speaking of global warming, we need some global warming.
We don't need more warming in our climate system. Just because it's cold on one particular day doesn't mean that on average the Earth isn't warming.
What about the scientists who say it's worse than ever?
You'd have to show me the scientists.
Science can tell us a lot about the world, from atoms to nutrition to climate change, but it can't tell us everything. That's just not how science works. Science is the process of becoming less wrong over time.
Everything was a new scam, green, green, green. Look, I'm all for the environmental, everything. I'm all for climate change. You know, they have a new word, climate change. It used to be global warming. It's global warming. Well, that didn't work because it started coming down. They did the global cooling thing. Then they just said, we can't keep up with this. It's too much. So we'll go, perfect words, climate change. They're covered. If it rains, if it snows, if it's warm, it's climate change.
Actually, it's always been climate change and global warming.
As a scientist, we tend to use the term climate change because there's all sorts of changes that are happening on the planet, including global average temperatures rising over the long term. And that latter part is called global warming.
The ice caps were going to melt, they were going to be gone by now, but now they're setting records.
According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, last year saw the second smallest annual sea ice area on record. And these images from NASA show how quickly the ice is, in fact, disappearing.
We're losing vast tracts of Arctic sea ice in the summer. And just because it's wintertime doesn't mean that you can point to sea ice in the winter and say climate change is not happening.
Consensus is all the big stuff that scientists agree on. They understand atoms enough to know what their properties are, they understand nutrition enough to offer overarching health guidelines, and they understand climate change enough to know that we are causing it.